let's talk about the 4 very, very easy signs that a person is not from the upper class. This might be a little harsh, but it is the harsh truth. And if you are trying to kind of be the best version of yourself, then you should take close attention for this, okay? So I want to first start out with one of the most controversial ones of them all, and that is tattoos. Now, I personally don't have anything against tattoos. If you had a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce, have you seen Rolls Royces or Lamborghinis with bumper stickers on them that say, live your day like it's your last, things like that? No, because a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a Rolls Royce is just simply not something to put a bumper sticker on. It is already kind of elevated and high class itself, so it doesn't need anything extra to taint the perfection of it. Same goes with your precious body. It does not need anything on it to elevate it or anything like that. If you actually look at movies and photo shoots and kind of things like that, in post-editing process, most tattoos are typically removed and you will get casted for more jobs if you don't have tattoos. Again, of course, it depends on the job. If you're kind of going for like a rugged type of campaign, if you're kind of in the modeling or acting industry, then yeah, maybe they're specifically looking for females with that. But for the most term, bodies with nothing are mostly kind of hired for those types of jobs. Again, I'm not saying I personally have anything against tattoos, but if you are kind of just a normal person, unless you are a really wealthy and well-known celebrities, tattoos can really look off-puttish if you are trying to go into the upper class, and you'll typically see that they don't have the tattoos. Again, there's really nothing wrong with tattoos. I think they can be done quite tastefully and quite creatively. It's more about kind of the direction you want to go and where you want to put your life, what type of mate you want to end up with, because typically tattoos are frowned upon if you are trying to attract a high caliber man or fit into high society or a high paying kind of modeling job. That's just how it goes. Or if you do have a tattoo, I guess they remove it in post-editing process, things like that. But that's just something to consider, right? There's always somebody that likes something. I guess it's just more of a fact of what am I trying to get out of this life. The second thing is piercings. Piercings, okay? On the ear, on the earlobe is kind of the only one that's pretty much acceptable if you're trying to climb high in the circles, because anything else, again, is kind of dampening your precious goods, which is your body, your temple. There's absolutely no reason to have your ear pierced 10 times. And some tattoos then tend to look quite tacky, such as a belly button piercing. I know a lot of young kids tend to do that, but honestly, it does not give the right impression. It does come off tacky, and you're better off if you have to think about the type of kind of piercing to get besides your earlobes. You better just not get it at all. The next thing is your grooming and personal hygiene. Some people kind of brush it off like it's not a big deal because they're chilling or they're casual and maybe letting their hair go greasy a few extra days, or walking around in a bun and sweatshirt and sweats for the whole week, or even running errands like that. If you look at somebody who is upper class, they will not be doing that type of behaviors. They're quite put together. They have good grooming, they have good hygiene, and they take care of themselves, because honestly, the way you look, the way you present yourself, and not even talking about the time you spend at home chilling, but really the way you present yourself going out, knowing you might see somebody you know, or going to a kind of a public place, really shows a lot about how a person feels about themselves. And grooming and making yourself look good is quite a priority, and especially if you want to be higher in the rankings. Now, again, please don't take this personally. Like I said, it's totally okay to be like lounge around every once in a while, but if you are trying to become the best version of yourself, you do typically have to stray away from what the norm is doing, because if you are going to do the things that everyone else is doing, you're going to get the things that everyone else is doing. And here in America, the kind of average marks for average are not good. Average means a very low salary. Average means being overweight. Average means being unhealthy and potentially dying from a heart attack. And those are not good things to be average. So if you don't want to be average and want to kind of be the best version of yourself, really do consider these seriously. And the last thing I want to mention, especially for my females, is the way you carry yourself and the way you act. Now, a lot of components go into this, such as the way you dress, the way your posture is, the way you behave. But the number one thing I want to say is your tone of voice. And I don't mean in the way you communicate with people and not being rude. That's self-explanatory. But for some reason, women tend to think that if they elevate their voice and make it more high-pitched, they are desirable. While in fact that is true, and while a female voice is more desirable because it's more soft, that does not mean you have to turn it into a valley girl voice with a lot of likes, uhs, things like that, and very, very high pitch. That's not naturally your voice. That honestly just dumbs out a girl. I don't know why some girls tend to do this. No reason for it. Your voice is already probably kind of higher pitch already naturally, and there's no reason to falsely inflate it because it's pretty obvious, and it does give off an impression of unintelligence. And of course that is the opposite of you want, because those who are upper class are definitely not unintelligent for the most part. Now, maybe this is a little harsh, but it is the truth. So if you do want to become the better version of yourself, do subscribe to this channel and like this video, and I will see you in the next one.